Hey Boo Buddies, Anya here, welcome back to the channel. And where has the time gone? It is already time to set up May, and I'm feeling a little behind. If you saw my last video last week where I played with my new stationery while recovering from my vaccine, you'll understand that I wanted to keep playing. And so I am doing some ink and metallic watercolor something. I am using a traditional calligraphy brush. This is not really how you're supposed to use this brush, but it gives this really interesting, unique texture to, instead of a nice smooth wash, it doesn't do a smooth wash, and I didn't want a smooth wash. So I am literally just covering my pages with ink, and I am going to go back in with my bronze metallic watercolor that I just got last week and put in a scenery details. I'm doing, this could be, what I like about using the bronze and the brown is it could be day, and this could be the sun, or it could be night, and this could be the moon. And I like to think of it as a night scene, and this is the moon, and that kind of gives everything these long shadows and this interesting setup that I've got going. And you can't really do the same layering detail work with the metallic watercolors that you can with non-metallic watercolors and ink washes. So the details I'm doing with the metallic watercolors kind of have to all be silhouette and just one level. So that's what I ended up doing, and it's nothing special. It's mostly just me still playing with my new mediums and setting up my bullet journal. So I am using some marker paper that I have lying around because that's what I do when I'm not playing in my bullet journal, marker paper. And this is a mixed media paper that I use for markers normally, and I just have a square cut up, and I'm going to write out my calendar in nice clear white so it stands out, and then I'm going to use some more paper to write out for my package tracker that I have really been enjoying having at the beginning of the month, so that I can keep track of any packages I'm expecting and any packages that have gone missing, and then of course my goals for the month. I decided to go with a raw edges for the goals and the packages because it fit better with the wash scheme that's going on. But you know, the calendar, calendar that can be nice and neat, and I kind of like the small calendar and the big bold cover setup page. I was flipping through this bullet journal. This bullet journal has 2 months left, May and June, and I started it in June of 2020, so going on almost 13 months for one bullet journal. That's pretty impressive if I do say so myself. And I was flipping back to earlier in the year when I started this bullet journal, and I had a different weekly setup, and I've really been liking the dashboard that I've been using the last few months, but I decided I wanted to go back to trying something that I was doing back in last summer, which was adding a doodle a day and a line of gratitude every day to part of my weekly setup. So in order to do that, I have to put my weekly dashboard on one side of the spread, either vertically or horizontally. I went with vertically. And the other side will be for doodles and gratitude. And the reason I'm doing it, I'm splitting up the pages. So one side is your standard weekly planner, and to-do lists and nice and calendar, and the other side is for the writing and the journaling and the doodling, is because it gives more space for the doodles, whereas if I went horizontally and just put everything from top to bottom, I would be more limited on how much space I could give to each section. So I'm doing my week in this nice random column, and I'm actually going to split up these long boxes into two sections, one for my to-do list for each day, my tasks, and the other is for my posting schedule, so I won't have a separate posting schedule like I normally do for the week. You'll notice I'm not using a pen or fine liner. I'm using one of my new nibs because I'm still playing with the ink, and I am dipping this pen and using it. And part of the reason is because it's my nib and I can do it. And the other is because one of the biggest reasons I got into bullet journaling and I've stuck with it and really enjoy bullet journaling is it gives me a platform that's just for me to practice and any new mediums that I want to do and experiment with lines, with colors, with paint, with markers, and shapes, and it gives it and it gives an automatic purpose. Well, I have to write out my calendar, and I have to do this, and you can see I switched to a regular pen to finish it up. I just needed things to just get finished up, but it still looked a little blank. So I went back with the metallic watercolors and added a little landscape border that kind of matches what I have on the cover. And I kind of like this style with the landscape, because if I'd done this in another color, it would have been good. But with the bronze, it kind of gives it a little ambiguity of, is it green? Is it brown? Is it desert? Is it forest? It could be either. It could be both. It could be neither. And that is really working with May for me, because, is it spring? Is it still winter? We don't know. Is it summer? We don't know. It's May. And weather can be confusing in some parts of the world, especially where I live. So I'm going to try this again and see how this works, and hopefully I will have some success. I don't know if you noticed, but I did forget to add my weekly habit tracker like I normally do, and I will have to add that in later. But oh well, it's my bullet journal and mistakes are mine. So final flip through, guys. I really dig how the ink and the watercolor came out together. It's really fun and textural, monochromatic, and I'm going to give my weekly gratitude and doodle a day in my bullet journal again another try. Thanks for watching, Boo Buddies. I will see you next time.